Hey folks, welcome back to Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. So yeah, we're taking advantage of this nice cool weather, continuing to get down here in the bee yard while I can. So I'm putting off the mowing right now and working on well stuff. So going to get back down in here and work on hive number 6 today. So Hive 6 is the one that we did the on-the-spot queen rearing. We put a brood frame in there with eggs and we notched the eggs, and they pulled down multiple queens. There was probably 10 cells in there, and we took out the tiny cells and left, I think, 3 nice good sized supersedure or emergency queen cells. So that was May 28th was when we did the notch. I checked it a week later, so that would have been June 4th, 5th time frame. And so today's the 22nd. So we should have a mated queen in there, and she should have started laying, and we should see a brood in the larva stage, maybe none capped yet, but we'll see depending on how long it took her to mate. Assuming she made it back and successfully without getting ate by a big dragonfly or a bird or something like that. So also, yesterday evening, I checked several of my honey boxes and they're full. So much to my amazement. So I didn't think we would have a very good honey year, which the apiary is not near as strong as it was last year, but the hives that did produced well. We had a super surge of a flow there for a while, and it's tapered off now, I believe. But I did add a few supers, and I got 2 hives that have 3 on them now, but chances of them doing something with that third one at this point, I don't think they'll touch them, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so I have 2 or 3 singles that are full and a couple 3 doubles that are full. So we're not going to have 700 pounds of honey this year. We'll probably have the 300 to 400 pounds is what it's looking like. So, which I'll take that considering what we went through in February with the below zero, minus 12 degrees for like 4 days in a row. Yeah, a lot of people lost all their bees, and here I am with some honey, so hey, I'll take that for sure. Okay, let's get into Hive 6 and check it out. Okay, here's Hive 6, and the entrance doesn't look real strong. We've got some activity, some bees coming and going. But you know, they've been on a brood break for quite a while. The only brood they had was from that donated frame. So I don't expect this hive to be real strong. And it's got a super on it, which there's probably nothing in there. So let's get that off of there and see what we find. Okay, I'm not gonna look in the honey super. We can tell by how much it weighs. There's a little bit of weight to it, not much. So there's a little bit of nectar up there in that super. So if this hive rebounds okay, we might, you know, leave this super on until October time frame. And that sometimes I'll do a little fall harvest. There's a decent looking population up here. Yeah, so this doesn't look too bad. Most of the bees went back down on their own there for a second. Don't know why. Maybe they got a puff of that smoke from the smoker. Let's get some of these frames out and see if she's queen right. So right here, this frame is the one that had our queen cells on it. It's marked with an N for notched. If you want to check out the prior videos, there's a playlist called OTS Queen Rearing, and the prior 2 videos on this hive, plus some from last year, are in there on how I use that method to help make more queen cells for an emergency queen. I like this hive tool. I like the hook part, but once you get done with the hook, this part is just too narrow. I like it to be, well, it's the same width. I don't know. It just doesn't feel the same. So it's just a nectar frame and a little bit of capped honey there. So this hive hasn't had any supplemental feeding. Anything in here is left over from last year and what they've foraged on their own. This is a heavy frame. It's pretty much completely full of nectar on both sides. The bottom of this is bee bread. So hopefully I'll see some brood on this frame right here. They act calm, like they're good, like they're not queenless. And no brood yet. But that's mostly nectar. A little capped honey there. And same here. So here's our frame that had our emergency cells. And we left 3. So here we can see one was right here that's been torn down. One is right there. Unfortunately, I don't see eggs. And I don't see any queen cell here. There was some along the bottom. Looks like they've tore them all down. If the queen was going to be laying, I would think she would be laying right on that frame there. There was some nice looking laying area on there. And this is all nectar here. This is not looking good, folks. This is a blank frame. So if it's truly queenless, I would think they would have gone laying worker by this long without any brood. And there's no eggs at all anywhere. It's all bee bread. Same here. And that's just a little bit of nectar there. Well, shoot, let's, I guess, look in the bottom. If we don't find a queen down here, which I doubt we will, we need to check that super, because sometimes a queen will return and go in your top entrance, and she'll be up in the super. And so I do need to look in there. There's just a few bees right in this area, so I don't think we got any activity going on down below. Got some drones hanging out down here. Just random population down in this area, so it's not going to be a queen in that area. There was a few bees in this area. I thought maybe there would be a queen there, possibly, but nope. Okay, bummer. I'm pretty sure it's queenless. Why they've not gone laying worker? So they must have had enough brood pheromone for the amount of time that they needed before they've gone laying worker. Plus, there was a virgin queen, at least one or two in there at any given time after those emergency cells emerged. So, not sure. So they obviously went out on their mating flights and didn't return. Or there's a queen in here I didn't find, and I don't think that's the case. So we'll Need to reduce this down to a single deep. I'm going to do that and get 10 frames out of here and leave the 10 with the most bees. And I'm going to pull a couple of splits this evening. I'm going to try and overwinter some nukes. So I'm going to try and make me a few splits and get them going. And if they fail, I'll just recombine them somewhere else later on. But yeah, this didn't work out. So that's beekeeping. That's how it goes. So yeah, so now we're going to reduce this thing. Oh, I said I was going to check the top, this super. So let's do that. There's not much weight to it, so I don't think it's going to mount to anything. Goodness, I can't lift the lid up without lifting the whole super. So yeah, it's empty. Giant cockroach. Yeah, there's a few bees up here, but this super needs to go on a strong hive where they can protect it. There's no laying queen up here, I guarantee you. A little bit of honey right there. So I'm just going to shake these out best I can. And we'll start reducing this. So anything that has no resources in it will come out like that. Blank frame, no nectar, no nothing. So we need 10 of those out of here. And there's quite a few in the bottom, so we've got nectar there. So I'm going to skip over here to the right hand side. So blank frame. There's a lot of bees in here that their butts are just totally black. All their fuzz is gone because they're really old. Now that one's got honey. So we got 2 from the top. I don't know if we can get 8 out of the bottom or not. We'll see. 3. That's got some nectar and pollen. I think this one did too, yep. That's got a little bit of pollen, but we got to take it. I would have just put that other box there, but there's bees all over the walls in here. So I'm just going to move the frames. So I'm setting this up to put another brood frame in here and do this again. So this frame here has pollen. So I want my my frame I'm going to put in here with the brood and eggs right next to that pollen. And this has nectar. Okay, we'll go find us a brood frame. I hate to pick on Hive 15 anymore, but let's go over there and see. Figure out where we can get one, and I'll bring one back over here. Okay, so I did pick on Hive 15 again. So I didn't find her queen on here, and Hive 15 is full of cat brood. Probably 5 frames on the bottom, and then this one was half. So this was the very last one, and I just made me a notch all the way across, so that's full of eggs all right in there. I made sure and look for our queen on this frame, make sure she's not on here. And I'm just going to put it in there, bees and all. I don't have my spritzer bottle, but I will smoke them. So yeah, 15 hive is really strong. So I'm going to put the notch side over here where the pollen is. This hive here is so weak, I don't anticipate any fighting. I'm going to look on here one last time. So our queen from Hive 15 was a green marked queen, which meant she's 3 years old, and for a 3-year-old queen, man, she is laying like lights out. Never seen anything like it. I may have her mismarked. She may only be 2 years old. And that's always possible. Just a wad of bees on here. I had a hard time finding eggs, so it was the last frame I got to. Yeah, I don't see her. Let's get it in there. So I had this same situation 2 years ago. Boy, listen to them roar. Somebody's like, this don't belong. Put a little smoke in there, kind of confuse them. All right, so we only got 9 frames in there, and that's okay. So what I was saying, a couple years ago, I went through this same scenario, and it took 2 tries. It may took 3. I remember it taking an exceptionally long time, but and it got kind of late into the summer. I think it was hive 17 or 18 over there. Yeah, so what was supposed to be a short queen check video and success and thumbs up and get out turned into a really long video. So I'll try and condense this down, so hopefully it wasn't too long for you, but you get the gist. Sometimes it don't work out. Sometimes beekeeping happens to you and it doesn't work like you plan. So have an alternate plan, and I intended to make some splits anyway after I did this. So I've got these extra frames here to put back in the hives where I pull my splits now, and that'll help out there. I'm not going to pull a split out of 15. I'm going to leave it alone. That's probably the 5th or 6th brood frame I pulled out of there, and I did pull splits off of 15. I know for I think unlucky 13 I got some out of there as well. But yeah, for a green queen, that's something else. But anyway, that's the end of the video. Give me a thumbs up, and we'll check back on this in another week or two and see if they're drawing the cells down. So if they don't draw down the cells, we know there's a queen in there. So that'll be interesting to see. We'll check that in a week's time and see how that's doing. So we'll catch you on the next beekeeping video, and subscribe on your way out. Y'all take care.